Today I want to go over the newly released SOVOL SV01 Pro, April 2022 release date. I'm going to compare it to the one over here on the other side, which is going to be the Ender 3D Pro. And it's a very similar machine. This one here has a larger build plate. This is a 280 by 240 by 300 build plate. Some of the differences in these two machines is going to be that whenever you buy this one, this is already modified. Some I've added a direct drive onto it, and there's some things I've added to this one here. But this comes here standard with a metal direct drive, the CR Touch. It comes with 32-bit silent board, the flexible filament sensor up top here, belt tensioners, the CR touch screen, dual Z axis, flexible build plate. And so as far as this one, when it came factory, it had a flexible build plate with it as well as a glass plate. I've since bought a Wham Bam for it. There's not a Wham Bam available for this one right now. I'm working on getting a off-brand to try to use for this one here. I would like to ask the Wham Bam system. As far as this one here, I've upgraded it. I've put on the direct drive system. I've added the dual Z to it. I've added CR Touch to it. I've done some modifications as far as mounting the control panel here. And a few other minor things that I've done to it that changed this one here. This one here, as you can see, the original, it comes with this piece here. This is where you run your filament through. Sensor mounts here, goes up top there. For me, I actually have mine because I use the box up top that runs through here. So I made a bracket which will be attached from the bottom down here, so you can get that if you want it, to attach the bracket to it. It just snaps in. It's a real simple process to use. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to go show the opening of this box. First time I ever saw it, we're going to open it up. The assembly, as far as assembling this system here compared to the Creality, it's so much simpler to assemble. I could have this, if second time for sure, up and running in 10 minutes. No problem at all. And be printing. Only thing I've done on this one here is I went in, before I did my first print, I went ahead, did E-steps on it. I calibrated the flow. That was the best about it that I did on that. I made sure I did the Z offset and set the bed level on it. Then I printed the benchy that came with it. It came out decent. I used the same exact settings I used on my Ender. And just to start off with, a little tweaking and stuff, it's going to be as good as the Ender or better. As far as the difference in the two and cost-wise, by the time I spent all my money adding all the upgrades to this one here, it costs as much as this right here. This system here, also I like it. It's got a really strong, sturdy base system on it, and it works real well. I like it a lot how it's contained in. It's sealed real well. The cables are running real well. Touchscreen's really nice on it. So I'm going to go into the video that shows how to unbox and assemble this product and things you may or may not like about it. It's up to you as far as what you want to use. I think that overall it's probably a little bit better than the Ender D3 Pro. The Ender Pro would be great if it came with some of these, like the direct drive engines attached already. But overall, I think it's a better system to start with. If you're just starting in 3D printing, you may want to do something like this. It costs a little bit more, but compared to the 3D Pro, I added to it anyway. I don't have to add right here. And this is probably going to stay pretty much stock. I won't be much adding to this one. There will be an SD card. I'd added to it because it just had to have the micro card. I'll be doing that part of it. That's probably about it. So I hope you enjoy the video. So this is the opening of the SOVOL SV01 Pro. Came with a slight damage on the side here, not very much. I think it'll be good inside. Open it up, see what's inside of it. Top you have the user's manual and looks like a quick start guide, package contents. Seems to be packed very well, secure. Got a small amount of filament with it. Power cord, additional parts. Inside is packed it nice and cushioned. Let me try to get this so you can see it better. You can see it's pretty well packed. It's nice and everything looks pretty good as far as structural wise inside. The box didn't see any damage inside the box. A couple wheels are off of it. And there's a loose spring inside the box. LCD screen still in the box. So now I'm going to look at the manual and see how to put it together, and we'll put it together here shortly. So I went ahead and put there was the two wheels that were off. The spring was off this one here, the spring was still in the back, so I put those back in, placed them back in, put the wheels back on again before I started the video again. So I'm going to assemble, pretty simple process to assemble. First of all, take it off here, it lines up in the back side. And it slides right down like that. Everything comes in packages. There's packages here with bolts in it. There's only 4 bolts that come with it. Here's the Allen wrench set. That one there lined up pretty easy. Again, lines up. That's all the bolts for it. There's the flexible base. Moves rather well. Smooth. Doesn't seem to have any play. Pretty stable right off the bat. So just take this up here and press it in. For my setup, I won't be using it, but that's all there is to that. That'll be tightened up there, looks like, at some point. over. There we go. Some of the way as far as the filament sensor, but that's how it assembles when it's new. Next step. Says slide the touchscreen on. Just like that right there. Says select correct input voltage on it, so I gotta find. Should have been on the back side. Oh, there it is. Yep, shows 230, so I need to change that. There you go. Let's change now. See, our touch is already plugged in. That's all plugged in. Plugged in. So we need to plug in this filament detection. It says filament detection light wire there. Plug these two wires here together. Lining them up correctly. Those two are together. Then we have looks like Z1 plugged in. This side here. Z2. Plugged in. Make sure all the wires are clear. Everything else is already connected. So the main board has a connection wire. Right here. Take it off for connecting it. So all the wires are really run really nice and out of the way. Good wiring system, it looks like, on it. Last but not least, looks like a power cord. Power cord plugs in the back right here. Power cord's plugged in. Power cord behind it here, out of the way, underneath. Power supply's over on the side here. So that's it for right now. Looks like everything's all plugged up, ready to go. Pretty simple setup.